that for a slogan. So first of all, shout out for Eric and Dave and of course the Brown County Democrats and my good friend Mandela Barnes, who is going to be a absolutely great and independent and strong lieutenant governor. I can't wait to have that opportunity. So in Alameda, we actually just took this beautiful trip from Appleton to Green Bay. We did hit, and I was driving, we did hit a few Scott holes. We tried to avoid some of them. But we also had a chance to, and I kept both hands on the wheel, I had a chance to talk to some great Dems. Josh called while we were en route, and we talked with him, as well as our good friend Sarah Godlewski, and we talked about things that are important to her and her race. So it's a good conversation, and we had a great chance to talk about the importance of having good government in Wisconsin. And so this issue is actually, kind of fun, and the idea of driving 24 miles instead of flying it. But it's really serious business. And as most of you know, I'm a proud Plymouth progressive and come from a pretty conservative background. And my wife and I, we take pride in being frugal. You may be afraid for me to say this, but every piece of clothing I own, every one of them has been bought on sale. My wife has worked very hard to make that happen, and she has absolutely succeeded. And I'd say most of the food we buy is on sale too. So Scott Walker, he may spend all this stuff any way he wants, but the bottom line is people know what's excessive and what wasteful spending is. It's just common sense. Wisconsinites know that. And so the idea of him flying a state plane from Appleton to Green Bay and the taxpayers dying is the definition of waste, period. There's no other way he can slice that. So for the past 8 years, he's used his work, his being governor, to thank and support and finance his political supporters, and also special interests. He took away local control. You think of shoreland preservation and shoreland zoning. You think of what's going on in Kewaunee County, where large farms are being approved on a regular basis, and it's impacting our water. The party of local control abandoned that, and we have to return that. We have to make sure that that's part of it. But we have to have oversight and accountability in our government too. So that's why we're really pleased, Mandela and I, to talk about our Government for Us agenda that we released yesterday. We want to make sure that taxpayer money is spent wisely. We're frugal. Cutting wasteful spending on things that frankly don't matter and the people of Wisconsin don't matter is a top priority. One of the things we're going to do is propose to the legislature that we establish an Office of Inspector General. Several states have this. And what it is, it's really important. We have them now, but they're part of the state agencies. We want somebody that's independent of the state agencies. That's really part of the executive branch that is looking out for the people of Wisconsin. That will when complaints come in and issues arise, they will be there to investigate those things right off the bat. And it's important to have for clean government. I can tell you, if we had an Inspector General in place, Scott Walker would not have flown from Appleton to Green Bay. The other thing we have to do is make sure that, and you've seen this with Brad Schimmel, the idea of non-disclosure agreements, where people that work for the Department of Justice have to sign off on, frankly, their free speech rights. And we can't have those things. That's very constraining, at least for all state government. We're also very concerned about people's ability to make sure that they're part of the legislative process. We're going to ask the legislature to take up a bill that would cause, after you pass a bill, after a committee has a public hearing on the bill, we need 48 hours, at least 48 hours. Instead of fast-tracking something through, especially late at night,